Hey y'all, happy Tuesday. Hey Black Introvert. Hey Edward. Hey Cajun. I've been missing you in action. Hey Elroy. Hey Ray. Happy Tuesday, y'all. Welcome. Hopefully everybody is doing good. So y'all, we got a couple things to talk about tonight. There's been some crazy things going on over here in the media. Y'all know, as always, they try to keep us on a hamster wheel. That's what they do. Somebody says start with D Wade. Now, you know good and well I'm not finna start with that because it's going to be probably my biggest rant. So you're going to have to stick with me for a little while. And I'm probably going to go through this, y'all. Kind of go ahead and get through some of this because I don't plan to be on here for a long time. But y'all know sometimes when y'all get me going, we just be going. Hey, BMT. Hey, Blue made the slap. Hey, Mark. Hey, Helena. Hey, Alicia. But oh my meme. Okay. All right, y'all. So I ain't gonna hold y'all long. We're gonna go ahead and jump right into this. So first, I want to start off by talking about your boy Bernie and these rallies. So I don't know if y'all recently saw the video or whatever. If not, let me show you this. And this is the censored. This is a censored version, okay, y'all? So this was at let me go back a little bit. So and this is just one of the videos, but basically, y'all, it was like two topless women, may have been more, but I know it was two that stood out, that ran up on stage while Bernie was up there talking. Okay. Ran on stage while Bernie was up there talking, nude, breast out. They were like pouring stuff all over themselves. And I'm like, what the heck? What is going on? It's just getting really weird out here. First of all, one of my concerns is security at these rallies. How are these people able to have such access to such high profile people? That's number one. Something is not right about that. Number two, y'all are looking at the generation of, this is the generation of participation trophies. This is the generation of, if you're not saying what I like or what I want you to say, I don't want you to speak. The generation before me and the generation before that, y'all did that. This is your fault, okay? To me, this is so odd. And you're going to see way more of this leading up into the campaign. But for them to still be having this amount of access to these candidates, it's just mind-blowing to me. I don't know. Maybe it doesn't take that long to get topless. So I'm trying to, think of how this would work in my head, but I've never got topless in somebody's campaign rally. I've never tried it, so I can't say for sure. But I just know when I watch all these movies, like I watch Law and Order, is you, and every time there's somewhere they have people agents everywhere scanning the crowd. So I kind of just imagine that it works like that in real life. And usually they kind of see some stuff going down before it happens, but apparently it doesn't work like that in real life. So I don't know. But this is where we're at with it. Y'all gonna see a lot more of this. This is one tactic that I've never understood, this ambushing thing, because honestly, what does it even solve or do? People are not gonna hear your message. You're going to be escorted off stage expeditiously. Like, so in my head, it would be more, it would just be smarter to be the person that gets a mic. And when they give opportunities, I don't think they do it. They don't do it at these particular rallies, but when you have time to approach these candidates and they pass around mics and let people, they do these town halls, let people ask questions. You can ask them a question that opposes their policy or their agenda or something like that. That's totally different. But I don't know how far people think they're going to get with these antics, but this is the culture now. This is our culture. And this is going to go into some of the other things we're going to be talking about tonight with this Boosie thing. But this is our culture. It's like, if you're not saying what I want you to say, shut up, or I'm going to shut you up. I'll take the mic from you. I don't want other people to hear you. No freedom of speech. Like, this is where we're this is where we're going. Raymond said it's Topless Tuesday. I cannot. But yeah, y'all, and I'm like, this is too much. So we'll see. We're gonna keep watching this, but y'all just prepare for a lot of crazy stuff in the news, because, and as we're gonna talk about this whole Mike Bloomberg thing, as y'all are gonna notice, this is gonna be a very odd, very polarizing election year. Very polarizing. A lot of people are either highly upset or extremely disengaged. And so a lot of people are falling, on one end of the spectrum. And so you're going to see a lot of that going into this campaign. People are going to be losing their minds. And a lot of us know over here that like 90% of this, of what you see, is theatrics. It's mostly theatrics. So hopefully, going into this election, hopefully enough people can keep their heads on straight and not freaking let their brains explode, okay? A lot of this is theatrics, what we're seeing. A lot of this is agenda. Y'all already know that. We're going to be talking about that more going into tonight. All right, so let's talk about, let me see. Let's go ahead and talk about the Amanda. Dang, I can't even think of the girl name now. The girl, oh boy. Amanda, what is her name? Y'all, I can't believe I'm having a major brain malfunction right now. The girl that just called Emmett Till, I'm going to show y'all the clip, but I was trying to think of her name. She basically, this girl had the nerve to compare Jussie Smollett, okay? Juicy, I want a Subway in the middle of the night, Smollett, to Emmett Till. This is freaking infuriating. This actually happened last week, but I didn't want to do a whole video about this, but I did want to talk about this a little bit. Amanda Seales, thank y'all. And it's rare for me to not like somebody. You know what I mean? Because to not like somebody, you kind of have to have energy towards them, you have to care. And Amanda Seales is just one of those people. I'm really good at being kind of being able to, like, I can have civil discourse with people. I cannot agree with you, and we can be totally cool if we don't agree on some issues. That's fine. But Amanda Seales, I can literally wholeheartedly say that I really just do not care for her. She is like one of the looniest people to me, because some of the things she says are so ridiculous. But anyway, this is one of those things. So let's go ahead and take a look at this real quick. Oh, you know what? I don't think I can show it to y'all, so I'm just gonna play it. Hopefully y'all know how YouTube do me. So I'm just gonna play the audio. Even if it was a hoax. So this is basically them talking about Jussie Smollett's indictment. And the first thing that comes out of her mouth is even if it was a hoax. But y'all listen.
Thank you. Everything was even if it was a hoax. Even if it was a hoax, this is really happening all the time. And even if it was a hoax for the sake of bringing attention to this, then I'm like, that's low-key noble. Like, I'm at my wit's end about us censoring situations like this and wanting to make people have to pay. And it's like, Emmett Till's accuser was alive. I think she's still alive. Yep. Yeah. And this young man died, and she announced that she was lying about it. They should have put the shackles on her that day. And she's walking around. So no one was hurt in this situation. Nobody, you know what they're mad about? Their time, their resources being used. Money, the taxpayers' resources are being used every day to imprison people who have done nothing but be an addict. So I don't want to hear about Jussie Smollett.
Okay, so what I do want to help people that feel that, well,
this girl, woman, called Jussie Smollett low-key noble. Noble. Let me look up that word real quick. Noble. Possessing outstanding qualities. Illustrious. Notable. Exalted rank. Very good or excellent. The best definition: arising from superiority of a mind or character or ideals or morals. Amanda Seales calls Jussie Smollett low-key noble. Okay, absolutely ridiculous. I don't agree with it. One of the craziest things I ever heard. But I don't think it can get any loonier than having the freaking audacity to sit here and compare this man to Emmett Till. You sit here. And have the nerve to compare this man to Emmett Till. How in your brain do you even reach such a faulty comparison? Emmett Till was a child that allegedly whistled at a white woman. For that, not only was he severely punished, but killed. This man was killed. His mom had to sit there and look at his body like this in a casket in front of the world. That's what's wrong with this generation. revision of history and sitting here having the audacity to even think that this generation is anywhere close to our ancestors. Like, what type of haughty foolishness is that? Now, don't think for 1 second that I agree with the fact that if the lady, I don't even want to say her name, y'all should know her name. This is American history, okay? This woman that falsely accused this child and led to his death, this was reportedly, I think within at least a year ago, she was reportedly still living. She deserves to be punished harshly, severely. You got these psychos out here pulling up freaking Rick James out the grave. This man been dead for how many years? 10 years, maybe more. They are pulling Rick James and Michael Jackson out the grave for allegations. Let's go after everybody. Let's do it. I'm like, if we're gonna do this, let's do it. Let's be fair. I'm with that. So go snatch that lady up wherever she is, nursing home, wheelchair, spending time with her grandkids. I don't care. She needs to be right behind bars. If she's not alive, which I think she is, if she's not, her estate needs to be sued, just like all these other people they're pulling up out of the grave. Yes, if y'all have not heard about the whole Rick James thing, please look that up. It's crazy. This is where we're at. So in no shape or form do I make any excuses. I actually think that Emmett Till, the whole situation was so traumatizing, such a important, I don't even know the word to use, unfortunate time in American history that I don't even have the gall to sit here and attach that to some wannabe gay Tupac. And then you literally have, I can't believe it, but you literally have people online saying, well, Jussie should get away with this because other people do it all the time. Jussie should get away with this because X, Y, and Z get away with their crimes. Okay. Whatever, if you want to use that as your argument. But some of y'all are so blinded to the social justice marketing scheme that you don't even get that Jussie Smollett was trying to play you. He was never trying to play the police. He was trying to play you at home. This man was setting up his career for his book tour, his gay Tupac tour, his music awards on your dime. This man was set up. He had all these politicians backing him. You had Kamala Harris coming through with her little anti-lynching bill. This man thought he was smooth selling. This was never about getting over on the police like y'all think it was. This man knew he was in the clear. This was about playing you at home. This was about getting your money. This was about playing this same little social justice scheme that all these other people do. I've been seeing people online saying it's grifting season. It's grifting season. It's been grifting season for a few years now. I just told y'all how Jay-Z grifted y'all at the freaking Super Bowl. This man, and I ain't even gonna go into him, but this just whole grifting season got me thinking. But I did the whole breakdown. Jay-Z came into the whole Super Bowl thing like, oh, I'm down with the kneeling. I'm down with Kaepernick. I'm down with Black Lives Matter. And the man turned around and gave us a whole Hispanic free the people at the border Super Bowl. Like, I mean, get your money, I guess. So don't ever think for 1 second that Jussie Smollett was trying to get over on anybody other than y'all. Sympathy pays. Grifters get paid. You see all these people online going places knowing you're going to get beat up, knowing that people are going to be hostile towards you. You do it, you get the views, your notoriety goes up, and it brings in the money. So it's a whole scheme going on, and a lot of y'all are falling for it. And that was my biggest problem with the Jussie Smollett thing. And that's why I couldn't rock with it, because you were trying to build yourself up. You made this whole character, right? You made this whole situation, and you were trying to romanticize yourself as some type of hero, when that was just not what it was. And it was simply for money and notoriety. And I can't rock with that when you're trying to do it on my emotions. I can't rock with that. Don't do it on my watch. Don't do it on my time. Because now I feel like you're trying to trick me. You're trying to get over on me. And I don't like that. Edward Ivy said, don't trust these celebrities. And this is what I'm trying to tell people. And y'all are going to see, people are going to see this more and more and more. Even going into politics. Look at all these black blue checks coming out from Mike Bloomberg. Look at all these black blue checks doing a switcheroo coming out from Mike Bloomberg now. When y'all understand that money and agenda pushes 90% of y'all face forward, when you understand that they don't actually care about you as much as they claim to, that's the first step of freedom. First step of mental freedom. I don't give these celebrities much room at all, because I know at the end of the day, a lot of them are trying to pay their bills. I already talked about this. I talked about this with the Oprah thing. Y'all saw how Oprah was making calls, pulling people cards. You better apologize. You better retract your statements about Gayle. I already told y'all don't think they do this when it comes to politics. You don't think they do this when it comes to what social agendas people support and don't support? You got people like Boosie, Boosie the rapper, for people that don't know. But you got some people where they come from, they're just not going to care. And if I remember correctly, Boosie is an independent artist. So some of these people, and that's one of the best things about being independent, because you're not beholden. And when you've already kind of settled in your career, because Boosie is, I think, like maybe in his 40s or something, if I'm not mistaken, or at least close to 40. But when you made it a certain level and you independent, you can do what you want. That's just what it is. But y'all gonna see, watch all these people that's gonna switch when it comes to this Mike Bloomberg thing. So let's talk about this Mike Bloomberg thing. So apparently, according to several sources, Mike Bloomberg is considering Hillary for VP. Now, the smart people are going to be like, what the hell kind of campaign strategy is that? The smarter people are going to say, follow the money. You have this candidate, all this trash coming out about him right now. These accusations, the stop and frisk, we talked about that last time. Bloomberg was the mayor during the time Central Park 5 were trying to be compensated. I can't even think of the term right now. Y'all know what I'm talking about. But basically being compensated for being wrongly convicted. He opposed that. right? So you have all these alignments with Trump, very similar. Trump, Democrat, Republican, Mike Bloomberg, Mike Bloomberg, um, Republican, Independent Democrat. People are going to start to see this is way less about party line and way more about what people are actually doing and the policies they're actually pushing. How in the world is the DNC going to spin Mike Bloomberg? How can you do it? How? And let's not act like these things that he were doing were so long ago. We're not talking about at least if you say, oh, Hillary Clinton called a black kid super predators. Well, that was 40 years ago. Mike Bloomberg is fresh in the game. He was just stopping and frisking people just a few years ago. And what he get in front of a podium the moment he's about to run and says, oh, I apologize. Mike Bloomberg for Black America. And they're supposed to make it all right. They're supposed to just fix everything. I'm going to tell y'all right now. This is money. Money. First of all, what we are seeing is a repeat of 2016. And the crazy part about it is it's so blatant that it is sickening. It is sickening at this point. It is so freaking blatant. What the DNC is trying to get away with. It is sickening. This was back this past summer. The DNC has spent more money than it's raised this year. The Democratic National Committee has a money problem, and that could hurt its nominees' chances of beating Donald Trump in 2020. In the first 4 months of 2019, the party spent more than it raised and added $3 million in new debt. In the same period, its Republican counterpart was stockpiling cash. Democratic donors overall have been generous, pouring 3 times as much into their party's presidential and congressional campaigns in the first quarter of the year than Republicans gave to their national office seekers. But the DNC is benefiting from the same donor enthusiasm, putting at risk its ability to help the nominee take on Trump. Donor says. Whoever wins the party's nomination will rely heavily on the DNC in the general election for organizing, identifying voters, and getting them to the polls. This will ultimately cost hundreds of millions of dollars by election day. But the party needs to spend early to prepare, which is why it's been borrowing money. They don't got money. It's also sending out fundraising appeals under the presidential candidates' names. Something is never done. I'm going to drop this article later if y'all want to go back and read it. This was back in June. This has not changed, people. This has not changed. Mike Bloomberg is funneling money into the DNC. He's basically paying people off. This is about money and agenda. When people finally understand, when people wake up and see that the world revolves, this is going to be a hard pill to swallow for a lot of y'all. But when you realize that while they got y'all focusing on feelings, how I feel, social justice, equality, while y'all all in y'all feels, okay, the DNC and these politicians and these celebrities are running off with your money to fund their agendas. That's what this is about. Until you fully accept that, you will never understand anything else. If you go through this world internalizing what you see with your feelings, you are going to lose, people. It's 2020. It's time to wake up. Get out of your feelings. This is why the media has y'all sitting at home fussing over stuff that we know. Y'all know this stuff don't make no sense. You know it makes no sense. You know a girl is not a boy. We know this. You can freaking see it with your own eyes. We know this to be true. But while y'all are accepting and arguing over agendas, they are running off with your money. Nancy Pelosi will sit there and tear up a speech, but she is signing off on the same military industrial complex and big pharma. This is a show, people. It is theatrics. Most of it. And until you pay attention to the policy, this is why I often come on here and talk about policy. All that other BS is opinion and doesn't matter. At the end of the day, yeah, it's fun to talk about. We come on here, we want to be entertained, but it does not matter. It is not going to affect your everyday life at the end of the day. But they know. If y'all are sitting here distracted, arguing about whether people are kneeling or not kneeling, whether somebody's life matters or not matters, have y'all noticed nothing changed with the police? Nobody noticed that. Nobody knows. But the agenda disappeared out of the media so they can get y'all focusing on something else right now. I do know that much. Nobody noticed that the DNC is basically Russia. The DNC is Russia. All the meddling that we spent the last 4 years talking about, who's doing the meddling? We don't even need the Russia narrative anymore. I thought Russia was such a threat. Another agenda. This is like a book, people. You're flipping through chapters, and sometimes, what do they call it? Not a flashback, but foreshadowing, flashbacks. You know how you're reading a novel and sometimes it'll mention a little something here and then you move over a couple of chapters and you'll see it pop up a little bit again. This is what they're doing. They are successfully cycling stuff that doesn't freaking matter. This is why when somebody like Bloomberg, we know a lot of these people in these positions are elitists. They are very cut off from regular everyday people. They live in bubbles, not even just the politicians, the celebrities. So when a Bloomberg says something like, oh, it's the Black and Latinas that were doing this. And so we had to throw them up against the wall and stop them and frisk them. A lot of these people think like this, regardless of whether they come out and tell y'all that or not, right? We know this. So I'm like, bam, I need to look at this man's policies. What are you doing? What have you been doing? How is this going to affect me if you become president? So then you have Bernie Sanders. Appears to be standing up for himself. I don't know. We don't even know yet. Bernie Sanders completely, and he honestly lost a lot of support from a lot of people 2016. Like, if you can't even stand up to the DNC, how are you going to stand up to the world? But this is Bernie Sanders. Democracy to me means one person, one vote, not Bloomberg or anybody else spending hundreds of millions of dollars trying to buy an election. We'll see. This might be Twitter fingers. We don't know. I want to see when Mike Bloomberg and Bernie Sanders get on this stage, are you going to really address these things, or are you going to cower like you basically did to Hillary Clinton? It's so bad, even Donald Trump is addressing it. What Mini Mike is doing is nothing less than a large-scale illegal campaign contribution. He is spreading money all over the place, only to have recipients of his cash payments, many former opponents, happily joining or supporting his campaign. Isn't that called a payoff? Many is illegally buying the Democratic nomination. They are taking it away from Bernie again. Many Mike major party nominations are not for sale. Good luck in the debate tomorrow night. And remember, no standing on boxes. No, you had to throw the little petty part in there. This is theatrics. Honestly, okay, this is gonna be bad for me to say. I don't mean it, but I kind of mean it. Honestly, in a lot of ways, I'm like, if Mike Bloomberg was the nominee, I'm like, good riddance. You know why? Because hopefully, and I don't know, some of these people so blinded, they still couldn't see. But hopefully, I'm like, if Mike Bloomberg becomes a nomination, it will finally show y'all that this was never about racism. It was never about that. They never cared. They never cared. This was never about racism. Money, because I just told y'all, all these or feminism, whatever. It was never about that. You have all these things that people can parallel Mike Bloomberg and Trump, the women's accusations, the Central Park 5. I just told y'all that the stop and frisk. Donald Trump is down with stop and frisk. So how is the DNC gonna spin this? Was it really about racism, or were they just telling y'all that for 4 years because they wanted power? This is about money and power. It was never about them trying to protect your feelings or protect you from racism. That's never what this was about. And I'm telling y'all, to prove it, if Mike Bloomberg becomes the nominee, you're gonna see people, all the people, all the blue checks, all the Democrats and liberals that talked about nothing but racism for 4 years straight. You're going to see these people go to vote blue, no matter who, so fast it will make your head swim. I am telling you that right now. You're going to see them. But he's a little least racist than Trump, you know. These people are going to switch it up so fast for money. It is going to make your head swim. You're not going to know if you are going or coming. How? And that just even shows how much power the media has. Because if you think for 1 second that you can sit here and parrot nothing but racism for 4 years and then turn around and be like, oh, but vote for our racist, you know, because he's a little bit better than their racist. Like, that sounds ridiculous. These people are ridiculous, man. Oh my God. Ridiculous. I mean, and it's already happening. You already have so many people in the media. Y'all just watch. So many people already conceding to Mike Bloomberg, trying to talk around his record, trying to highlight his better parts, or whatever the case may be. It's already happening. So while y'all sitting on up here literally voting for somebody not on policy and all on racism, and the freaking DNC is literally rigging the campaign, talking to you about racism, but all on agenda, there's a lot of hit and miss going on. This is a lot of hit and miss going on. And a lot of this is theatrics. And they keep us entertained with things that don't really matter. Trump tweeted this. This person was seen in a picture with this person. But one thing's for sure, another reason, not only money, but another reason why the DNC is trying to push Mike Bloomberg out is because I don't care what these people are telling you or how they're conceding or pretending to AOC and the squad. The DNC, the old heads, these people do not want a progressive in office. They don't want that. They don't want that. That's another part of the theatrics. That is why they're literally blocking out any of the non-establishment candidates. It's so obvious. And honestly, it's kind of like hurtful to see this so plainly. And they're so sloppy with it, they don't even care. And it's very, very unfortunate to people that are completely buying into this system. You know what I mean? But we have to, I don't care if your team is in office or your team is winning. If y'all are not on these people's backs and looking at what they are signing and what they are doing, you're losing. You're losing. So, man, yeah. Woo. It's so sloppy. I just don't see how people can't see what's going on now, because it's just so sloppy in their agendas. They're getting so messy with it. But let's talk about this Boosie thing, y'all. And then I'm going to hop off. Southeast said they don't need a progressive in office. The program is covertly in motion. Absolutely. And that's why I always talk about languaging, social programming, and things like this, because our social discourse pushes legislation, whether y'all want to believe that or not. And so that's why it's very important that you stand firm on these issues, because that's making things okay, allowing people to accept all this programming, that is going to be pushed into your legislation. That's what's going to happen. And that's what's going to happen with this whole girl boy thing. So let's take a look at this. I think this does have some strong language in it, y'all, just as a precursor. But this is the rapper Boosie, okay? He's from Louisiana, and he's fairly popular. Especially after he after he that one time he got out of jail, his popularity kind of went up. That was like a few years back though. But anyway, let's listen to this.
I gotta say something about this shit, bro. Dwayne Wade, you going too fucking far, dog. That is a male. A 12-year-old. At 12, they don't even know what their next meal gonna be. They don't have shit figured out yet. He might meet a woman, anything at 16 and fall in love with her. But his dick be gone. How you gonna, like, bro, you going too far, dog. Don't cut his dick off, bro. Like, bro, for real. If he gonna be gay, let him be gay. But don't cut his dick off, bro. Like, don't address him as a woman, dog. He's 12 years old. He's not up there yet. He hasn't made his final decisions yet. Don't cut his fucking dick off, Dwayne Wade, bro. You fucking tripping, dog. You tripping, dog.
Okay, so I think y'all get the gist of it. And so, you know, I want to be very clear about this. Now, you know, I mean, I think Boosie has some abrasive language, and I think that it's like weird, right? Because you want to be tactful, and you want to handle children a certain way. But at the same time, I also believe that this is an agenda being pushed through children to emotionalize us and emotionalize the conversation instead of thinking people having people thinking from a logical, biological perspective. And so I think that's one of the biggest reasons why you're seeing this so much now with children, right? Remember that a few years ago when you used to have all these people coming out, you know, they would be grown. Like, I remember when Ellen DeGeneres came out. I remember when the dude from NSYNC, people like this, right? But now with these transgender issues, the whole transgender phenomenon is fairly, I'm not talking about transgender people being new. I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is this whole gender is a social construct thing. Is a fairly new phenomenon as is being presented to us in the media. And you would assume that a lot of these stories would come from adults. That just makes sense to me. But now they're using children, and that is for a reason. Let me tell y'all something about me. I try to be as fair as possible. Y'all know. Y'all know when that whole thing, cause let's call a spade a spade. Dwayne Wade is going around here having a tour about his child sexuality. That's just what it is. That's what it is. I called T.I. out on this same BS. When he was going around on these radio stations talking about his daughter's virginity, I found that problematic. Why do you want people thinking about your child's sexuality? Why? Why is that something that needs to be discussed in front of the media? I had the same exact energy because I'm queen of keep that same energy. I had the same exact energy for a young woman. Same energy. You can go back and watch the video. I said T.I. was wrong. You do not go around talking about your child's sexuality like it's Like, who does that? It's invasive. I would assume it's embarrassing. It's too far. Why are we sexualizing children? I would be hiding under a rock if my dad was in public talking about my sexuality, even at this age. And I'm grown. Why is this okay? And people are just accepting it like it's the thing to do. I believe Boosie's language was aggressive, okay? It was a little graphic, probably a little bit more graphic than I would put it. But nonetheless, he had some good points. Now, some people are going to say, just mind your business. Mind your business. Dwayne Wade's child has nothing to do with you. You know what? You're right. Nothing. Not going to affect me. If that child wants to wear a wig, call himself a girl, whatever he wants to do, that is their right. I believe in freedom. But you know what? This freedom thing works both ways. Don't force me to try to believe that a girl is a boy. Don't teach my kids in these schools that girls are boys. Don't infringe on my child's women's rights because you are funneling people that are biologically, there have been studies over years to prove this, biologically tend to be stronger, faster. That's where my problem comes in. That's my biggest issue with that. Everything else is just a freaking opinion. I can't stop Dwayne Wade from doing anything. But what you're not going to do, we're in this culture now where everything is hate speech. Nothing about this is hate speech. Nothing about this is, let me show y'all what I posted on Instagram earlier. If I can get into my, is it pulled up? Let's see, my computer going slow. I have a problem when you start to impact and infringe on me. I am not going to teach any children around me that a boy is a girl. I am not going to do it. You cannot force me to do it. That is the problem. That is the main problem with this. This trying to be forced on people to the point where they can't even speak. People are so mad at Boosie. Why? Why? It's just an opinion. Boosie can't stop Dwayne Wade from doing anything. I posted this earlier. Now, some of y'all might be a little triggered. So, since y'all saying Wade's son know what he wants at the age of 12, free R. Kelly. Another thing I have talked to y'all about, one of my other biggest problems with this is how this is going to affect laws. Social discourse affects laws. As somebody that has worked with children, and I can tell looking at these people online, I can tell that a lot of them have not actually worked with children. Y'all have children. Y'all have them. Y'all have kids. But you haven't worked with children. You haven't worked with children from different backgrounds, different areas, different economic situations. You haven't. Because if you had, I promise y'all, if y'all have heard some of the things I've heard, you would be doing everything you can to protect these kids. I promise you that. Y'all want to move on feelings when the world is out here preying on your kids. You can't move on feelings. I feel like I shouldn't have to lock my doors at night. I feel like I shouldn't. Because people shouldn't steal. I feel like that. I honestly feel like that. I shouldn't have to lock my doors. But guess what I do? Because I live in a real world with real people with a lot of hate and evilness in their hearts sometimes. And unfortunately, sometimes you have to build your reality, your life to that reality. That's what that is. And some of y'all are setting y'all kids up to be preyed upon. Some of these kids are not in good environments. I was going to show the video, but I don't even have it pulled up, so I'm not going to worry about it. But Dwayne Wade was saying, because he's on a freaking press tour talking about his child's sexuality. So he says, yeah, my son was online doing research, and this is basically where he got all this stuff from. What does that even mean? What does that even mean? So do you know the specific person? Do you know their motives? Do you know anything? There are teachers that can tell your children foolishness. So anyway, I posted this. So since y'all saying Wade's son know what he wants at the age of 12, free R. Kelly. My concern with this legally is that legally, if you put on paper that children have complete autonomy over their bodies and over their sexualities, how are you going to make the distinction? How? Legally, what ground are you going to have to stand on? And before some of y'all that have kids but have never worked with kids, do not tell me that there are not kids that don't feel like they want to sleep with adults. Do not tell me that. You cannot tell me that. Because some of y'all haven't really heard these kids talk. Y'all haven't. A lot of y'all thinking we living in some type of cupcake world where everybody just has good intentions and all kids are just some of these kids, man, y'all would not believe the things they say. And a lot of times, I'm pretty just good at talking to people. People just talk to me anyway. I can be anywhere and people just talk. But particularly with these kids, a lot of times because I look young, they think I'm around their age, then they try to be all cool with you and this and the other. And they say things. I've literally had to tell these kids sometimes, I don't want to hear that. That's inappropriate. Like, why do you even feel comfortable saying that in front of me? They talk about these, man. I literally had, and this wasn't even that long ago. But I had a little boy tell me, this is the high school student. Yeah, all the down low brothers be at the university. First of all, how do you know that? And this is a child having his own gender issues. So y'all really don't think these kids are being influenced? All the down low brothers be at that's where they be, at the universities. These kids need prayer and direction. Child, you are a child. You are a child. You got Dwayne Wade, this grown man on video saying his son is leading the family. What type of foolishness is that to even say? It is so easy, man. It is so easy for children to be influenced, persuaded, manipulated. I was highly sheltered as a child. So thankfully, I was kept away from a lot of things. But I was just talking about this a couple of weeks ago with my homegirl, because we were both talking about how our parents were like so strict growing up and stuff like this. Even though I personally believe her parents was way cooler than mine. Don't tell my parents I said that. But anyway, but we were talking about how when we were growing up, like our parents wouldn't even let us spend a night. Like it wasn't no spending a night at friends' houses and doing all that. Nope. They better come over here. You better see them in the daytime. And I remember we were both talking about it, like back then we just thought that was just one of the things we mentioned. But just thinking, oh, our parents so strict. They don't want us to have fun. They don't want us to do this. They don't want us to do that. Until you learn about so many of these kids being molested in their own homes. So many times these people have other people just around, neighbors, whoever. Just anything could happen. So this idea that people can't influence your children, people are inherently good. And yes, I do. I 100% do think that there are some children, right? I do think that there are some children that from a very young age, they're like, you know what? My mind and my body are just not lining up. It's just something's not right. I believe that. I 100% believe it. But what I also believe is that you don't make lifelong body altering decisions based on those moments as a child. If you feel like that when you're still an adult, freedom. I believe in that. But I'm telling y'all, soon enough, this is going to be pushed in the schools. It's going to be pushed in the textbooks. This is why I always talk about, I feel like oral history is so important. And even me realizing that within the last 2 years, is so much more that I would have asked my maternal grandfather and paternal grandmother. So much more. But the social programming is so real that people cannot stand it. They can't stand that you have a different opinion from them, even when it happens to be fact. They're literally telling us that the difference between a girl and a boy is how you feel. How insulting is that? How insulting is that to reduce my womanhood to a feeling, to reduce my womanhood to how I dress or my hair or my heels, my clothes, my makeup? So yes, this is absolutely going to be pushed into the schools. And we know schools are indoctrination camps. So this is why you have two choices. You opt out of the system altogether, or you maneuver the system. That means when your kids come home after school, you're going to have a lot of deprogramming to do. You're going to have a lot of deprogramming to do. And it's so unfortunate and mind-blowing that in just such a short 4 years, it ain't been more than 8, okay, that since gay marriage was legalized, you have adults sitting up here arguing about whether a girl is a boy and a boy is a girl. If that doesn't show y'all that the social engineering and the social programming is so real, if you think I have to affirm your child and how they feel, the social programming is so real. It's so real. And some people out here just lost in the sauce. Like, y'all just all in the matrix. And I'm telling y'all, man, the crazy part about it is, if you have people under politicians and celebrities this hard, under them this hard, because these are the people pushing this agenda. If you have people under them this hard, and we could be actually having debates about whether a girl is a boy and a boy is a girl, that I am of the personal belief they can make these people believe anything now. They can make them believe anything. Put something in the media enough times, put it on the cover of the magazines enough time, put it in some book and put a scholar before this person's name, and you can make people believe anything at this point. And honestly, some days I just wake up like I'm in a twilight zone, and either I just need to go back, I just need to teleport either to the planet that I'm really from or the generation that I'm really from, because this right here, I'd really be like looking at it like, wow, like y'all for real, like this is like real, like people really out here debating this. Like, that's crazy to me, man. That's crazy. And like, only a few people saying that, only a few people resistant to it, at least the notable ones. And that's going to become less and less as you have these mob mentalities that are so phased by the blue check agenda until they attack them enough to make them disappear. Because that's what it's all about at this point. If you don't agree with somebody's opinion, making them disappear. So, odd times, man. Odd times. That's all I can say. But, all right, y'all. So, I'm going to hop off here. Thank y'all for rocking with me every Tuesday. Thank you so much to my Patreons that help this content happen. Thank you to my VIP patrons, Valdez, Ray, and William Ray. And that's it, y'all. Make sure to thumbs up the video so this gets out more. Share it, and y'all have a good night. We'll be talking soon. Bye.